Hi everyone, I know that I'm doing this while I'm driving, but I promise I'll stare at the road. I have 5 children, so doing videos at home and having someone not screaming or jumping on me is really difficult. So I'm doing it in the car for that reason, so bear with me. But I wanted to do a video on doing a self-check. So if you're watching this, you've been on your health journey for a little while now, and I want you to do a self-check-in. So I'm always checking in with you as your coach. I'm always calling or texting and saying, hey, just checking in, just checking in, just checking in. You probably get sick of hearing me. But that's my job as your coach, to check in with you. But I want you to do a self-check-in. You need to do a self-check-in. And I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. First of all, are you using all of your resources? Okay? This is so important. This is going to get you out of that diet mentality. I had someone ask me who was interested in the program today. She said, and she's probably going to be watching this video in a few weeks, but she said, so it's so much money for all the food, but is that it? Like just food? And it really made me kind of self-reflect and think that a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people that do this program look at it as it's just about the food. You're paying money for the food. And it's not a diet. This is not a diet. This is not Weight Watchers. This is not the keto diet. This is a lifestyle change. And if you're still in that mentality of, oh, I can have this as soon as I get off my diet, then this is not going to work. This is not going to be a long-term thing for you. So this is kind of I want you to check in with yourself and have kind of a reality check, because I want you to ask yourself if you're thinking that way. If you're thinking that this is a diet, that this is just a tool to get you skinny, to get you your weight off, whatever. I don't want you to look at it that way. And if you feel like that's where you're at and you feel like that's the way you're looking at it, then you need to do a systems check. You need to check in with yourself and say, okay, what can I do to help change that mindset so this is a long-term solution? Because you got to where you are somehow, right? And it wasn't because you had great habits. If you had great habits, you wouldn't have been here in the first place. And so you got here somehow. So this program is invaluable, people. It's invaluable. This is tools and an opportunity for you to change your life and to change your thinking and your relationship with food. Are you taking advantage of the tools that you're given? So let's talk about some of those tools really quick. So the Habits of Health call. I know I've talked to some of my clients about that recently. They have a Habits of Health call every Wednesday evening. And for those of us who have crazy psychotic lives, we can't get on the call every week. That's totally fine. I don't expect you to drop everything and listen to the Habits of Health call every Wednesday. But guess what? We have a beautiful invention of technology, and it allows us to listen to those Habits of Health calls anytime on the podcast. So are you using the Habits of Health podcast? You can listen to that when you're driving to work. The app, the podcast app, is literally what it's called. The podcast app on your iPhone is free. It's a free, and I'm sure there's one for Droids too. It's a free app. You literally download it to your phone and you can download a ton of podcasts, and all the Healthy Habits podcasts are free. They're free tools for you, and they're invaluable because they go through so many different things with your thinking and your health and your relationship with food, that those tools are amazing and you need to be plugging into those. The second thing is, are you checking in with your community? Okay, and your community, if you remember, which you probably don't, when we had our very first phone call, I talked to you about community, that's a huge part of success with this program, is feeling like you're a part of something. If you're feeling like you're all alone, like everybody around you is eating all this unhealthy food and it's always so tempting to you, then you're not plugging into your community. Because when you're a part of something bigger than yourself and what you're going through, it makes this process so much easier. So check in with your community. That means get on the Facebook groups and the Healthy and Free group and share. I'm having a really hard day. I'm going to a birthday party tonight and I need some help, some tips so I don't eat cake or whatever. Check in with your community. Those people are going through the same journey as you, and they want to help you and they want you to be successful. And so check in with them. And also listen to other people's stories and encourage them. Be part of the community. And I love that. I love that I see so many of my clients getting on there and telling other people, great job, you're doing so good, you're looking great, whatever. That is amazing, because that's what this program should do, is help you to uplift yourself and then in turn uplift others. So that's another thing. I want you to make sure you're checking in with your community. So are you using all your resources? Are you listening to the podcast? Are you checking in with your community? Are you calling me or texting me if you're having a hard day? Are you using your coach? That's another one of your amazing tools. The last thing is transition. Are you getting close to transition? Are you thinking, oh, I'm just gonna not order the food and be done and go back to the way I was eating before now that I'm at my healthy weight? Or are you thinking, okay, I'm serious about this, I'm gonna follow through and go through transition, and I'm gonna be successful? Let me tell you something. Having somebody figure out how many calories you're supposed to intake every day and figure out what exercises you should do on a weekly basis and all of that, you have to pay people money to do that, okay? And you've already paid money, so you're good. I can help you with that. The company pays me to help you, so I can help you with your exercise and figure out how many calories you are gonna need to have in order to maintain your healthy weight, your optimal health. And so let's use those tools, okay? If you're getting ready to go into transition. And last, I want to share a really quick story with you. So when I very first started the program, I totally had a diet mentality. I really honestly did. And it was around Halloween, or not Halloween, what was it? Valentine's Day. That's what it was. It was around Valentine's Day, and I was doing my kids' Valentines and putting all the little candy in the envelopes and everything. And I am a sugar addict, like fully 100%, I admit it. And so I was like having the hardest time thinking that I wasn't going to get to eat any of that candy. And so I didn't eat any, but what I did was I took my favorite kinds, and I won't name them because I don't want to tempt you. But I took my favorite kinds out of the bags, and I put a couple of them in the freezer. And my husband was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, well, I don't want to feel like I can't have them now. And so I feel like if I put them in the freezer, then I'll know that when I'm off plan and I've reached my healthy weight, that I can get in there and I can eat them and they'll still be there for me. So I know that they're still there waiting for me. And he just kind of laughed and he was like, you're so funny. But I look at it now and I think that was the diet mentality. That was the, well, I can't have them now, but I can have them when I'm at my healthy weight. And that's not an okay way to think. Now, does that mean I can never have candy again? No. But what I'm trying to show you through that example is that in my mind, I could go back to that unhealthy eating when I was at my healthy weight. And that's just going to get you back where you started. And so it would be okay for me to think, you know what, I don't need to freeze any. I can go down to the store and buy this anytime. And when I'm at my healthy weight, I'm not really going to want it. And if I do want it, then I'm going to go grab some at the store or whatever and be okay with eating it every now and then. Not every day, and not gorging myself on a whole bag of mini candy bars. Like, just that, hopefully that example makes sense, but just that mentality of like, well, I can have it now, but I can have it later. Because this is the thing. You can have it now. You can have it whenever you want. But should you have it? And are you okay with having it? Is that going to help you to reach your goals? Is that going to help you to ultimately get where you want to be in your life and to feel good? And is it going to be okay to have a mini Twix, there I said it, every now and then when you're off plan, when you're done, when you're at your healthy weight? Yes, that is 100% okay. But if that treat is connected to any emotion, whether it's stress or being tired or you're feeling sad so you need to eat something, then no, it's not okay. Food is food. And I want you to get to that point where you realize I have a healthy relationship with food. I can eat food with no strings attached, with no emotional strings attached. And I can make a conscious choice and have that food and be okay with it, but know that it's not going to derail me from my goals. Okay? And that's the point I'm trying to make, is just that I don't want you to have that diet mentality of, well, I can't have a burger and fries now, but when I'm off plan, I can. Because yes, you can. That's true. You can have it now though. You just need to ask yourself, am I okay with that? Because is that going to help me reach my goals? Or am I okay with that now because this is just one of those occasions that I'm okay with having a little something that's off plan or whatever, but not having any emotion attached to it, and not thinking of, well, I can just have all that food when I'm at my healthy weight, because that means that this up here hasn't changed the way that it should. So I want you to do a systems check, ask yourself those questions, and if you feel like you're maybe not in the right mentality that you need to be, reach out to me, and I'm happy to help you and set you on the right track and give you some tools. And make sure you're watching your videos. If you're watching this, you're on the right track. So that's a good thing. Last tool I want you to talk about real quick is the Dr. A's, as in the letter A, Habits of Health. It's a big book, like that big. And he goes through and talks about a whole bunch of different steps in your life that will help you to maintain your healthy weight. And it's a really good book. It's a really good resource for you to have. He explains the glycemic index and a lot of other things in it. And so I'm going to go through a few of the things in the videos, but to really dig into it, that's a great resource to have. And you can jump on Amazon and buy it for around $13, I think. So that's another great resource I would highly recommend. So anyway, hope you've learned a ton from this video, and I hope you can do an honest, true systems check for yourself and get yourself on track if you're not there already. Have a wonderful day.